Okay, so today's question from the Bible is, how do you handle your anger? Now, this story in Genesis 4, verse 1 to 16, is about Cain and Abel, and that speaks basically all about it. First, I want to speak to you guys about this big mistake. In chapter 4, verse 3 to 10, Adam and Eve's disobedience in Genesis 3 brought sin into the human race. They may have thought their sin, eating a harmless piece of fruit, wasn't very bad, but notice how quickly the sin habit developed in the lives of their children. Simple disobedience blossomed into outright murder. Adam and Eve acted only against God, but Canaan acted against both God and a person. A small sin has a way of growing out of control, feeling controlled by the sin habit. The best way to break free is to put yourself under God's control. Now, I talked about this before. I talked about how you should surrender yourself to God and surrender your problems to God. Here is Satan's plan. Doubt. He makes you question God's word and his goodness. Discouragement makes you look at your problems rather than God. Diversion makes the wrong things seem attractive, so you want them more than the right things. Defeat makes you feel like a failure, so you don't even try. Delay makes you put off doing something so it never gets done. So I talked a lot about these specific topics. Delay, I talked about that with laziness. The discouragement makes you look at your problems rather than God. I talked about that too. You should put your focus fully on God, and He will help you. And diversion makes the wrong thing seem attractive. I talked about that too. Lies are attractive to us, and we need to differentiate between truth and lies. We need to differentiate between what will actually be good in the long run instead of what will be good to save me right now. Because I talked about that. I'm not going to go into that too much today. Let's read Abel's personality profile. Let's face it, the first time you read Abel's story, maybe you thought you knew all about him. Maybe you had him pegged as the teacher's pet, the one who got all A's in class and always raised his hand with the right answer on his lips. Or maybe he's too close in personality to someone in your family who seems perfect. Does that sound like your view of him? Abel was the second child born into the world, but the first one to obey God. He worshipped in a way that pleased God. That really bothered his brother Cain. Now, I want to bring up the topic of envy real quick. If you envy someone, I want you to just change your opinion. Because in the circumstances where somebody has a better standing with God in the way he does things, if somebody does more good, you should rather apply that to your life instead of be envious of that.